Hey guys, this is the Sports Hub. I'm Connor O'Gara. This is a Class C1 semifinal playoff edition of the Sports Hub. We have Cozad, we have Kearney Catholic. Both teams earned their way into semifinal games with impressive quarterfinal victories. Cozad obviously going to get a rematch against a team that had beaten the state championship last year. Going to have to make a trip to Ashland Greenwood. Kearney Catholic, on the other hand, going to be hosting Boone Central Newman Grove, a team that eliminated the Stars in the second round last year. That's going to be a great one. We want to talk about all that. First, we're going to talk about Cozad. How did Cozad get to this point? Well, dominating fashion, as always, for the Haymakers. Cruise past Shadron, number 5 seed for the tournament. Cozad, the number 4 seed, gets a 41-17 victory in that one. Connor Young doing it with his arm. Big plays really helped the Haymaker offense in the passing game. Young was able to connect with Jason Finnegan, Chase Dugan, was able to just get Sam Cole involved too, was able to get the aerial attack working, was contained on the ground, which is surprising. We knew Shadron was obviously a really good defense and did a really good job containing Young, but it didn't matter at all because that Cozad offense, just once it gets going through the air like that, look out, they are so tough to stop, and that defense just played so well. Jason Finnegan, 9 tackles, scoop and score for the Haymakers, and really Cozad at home, just such a different team. I would never want to have to go there to play a playoff game. That team is just so dominant at home. They feed off the energy that crowd gives. That's something that they're going to look to take on the road when they travel to Ashland Greenwood. So for the Haymakers, what needs to happen? Well, that home mojo needs to travel on the road. Haymakers obviously got to this point with 2 dominant home victories. And Ashland Greenwood, number 1 seed in C1, they want some revenge on the Haymakers because they were embarrassed in that state championship game last year. But in order for the Haymakers to continue the success that they've had at home, it's going to have to start with that defense. You look at what the defensive line's been doing: Dallas Mack, Jordan Henry, Mitchell Fisher, guys that have just been so involved in getting into the backfield and really disrupting plays, allowing Colin Watovic, Chase Dugan, and Connor Young to do what they do best at the next level, which is make plays. Whether that's sacks, whether that's interceptions, pass deflections, whatever it is, that defense works so well as a cohesive unit. Brian Cargill is going to have a really good game plan drawn up because Ashland Greenwood is as balanced as it gets in C1. They're not afraid to throw it. They can run it. Conditions are probably going to be pretty cold, so maybe a little bit more conducive to the ground game on Friday. But that Cozad defensive line, they, I think, are the real difference in this one. They have to be able to generate pressure. That is such a key. Connor Young's going to be able to get his yards. He's going to find a way to beat you. He's going to find a way to get points on the board, whether it's with his arm, whether it's with his legs, in a punt return game, wherever. He's going to find a way to get the Cozad offense going. I have no doubt about that. But to keep up with a team like Ashland Greenwood, it all comes back to that defense. Brian Cargill has built this team. He has built his foundation on that defense. Going to show up for one more? I'll be interested to see. On the other side of the bracket, number 6 Kearney Catholic gets about as dramatic a victory as they could have had. Win at Columbus Scotus, the number 3 seed, just absolutely stunned the Shamrocks. Grant Bushcutter hits about as clutch of a high school field goal as I have ever seen. A 42-yarder with 16 seconds left to win it for the Stars. They win that one 22-21. An absolute thriller up there in Columbus. I had the pleasure of seeing that game and seeing the Stars battle back in that one. This is a game that they were down 9 points with 9 minutes left. And how is this offense going to be able to generate some sort of scoring, some sort of momentum? And they relied on Bryce James. Here's a kid that not known for getting a ton of touches in games because his role is primarily as a receiver, but with Nathan Howe down, with Brady Holtmeyer down, they needed Bryce James to step up. He was in beast mode in that fourth quarter. He had a 58-yard touchdown run and really got the Stars going. He allowed John Masker in that passing game to relax a little bit, allowed them to shake off some early issues in the first half. It just was so important for the Stars. And that Kearney Catholic defense, man, did they show up in the fourth quarter. Shut down the SCOTUS running game, something that was really dominant and well balanced, I thought, throughout the first half and even into the third quarter. But the Stars defense, just that experience, it really showed up in those moments that it needed to in the fourth quarter. That's something they need to do again this week in order to pull off a big upset against Boone Central Newman Grove. Aren't rematches fun? It's kind of weird that I ended up talking about a couple of rematches in the C1 semifinals when that's the exact theme that we started these playoffs on, and that's exactly what we have with Kearney Catholic and Boone Central Newman Grove. A great game last year, a 1-touchdown game, a game in which Boone Central was just able to hold off the Stars. Kearney Catholic didn't quite have enough time down the stretch Stars eager to get some revenge on New Central Newman Grove. In order to do that, can't get overhyped in this one. Cannot be having those pre-snap penalties where it's just too much adrenaline going. Got to be able to settle down, focus on the game plan, and the game plan has got to be on shutting down Wyatt Mazur, a quarterback that is as good as it gets in the state, maybe in any class. This kid is an absolute monster, so tough to bring down. His lower body, I mean, they're like tree trunks, those legs. If you've seen this kid run, you know how special he is throwing the ball, running the ball. He is just as good as it gets in C1. He's going to be such a tall task for the Kearney Catholic defense. The line really has to be able to generate pressure. Dennis Cabanti, Colin Arredondo, Nick Dowling, these guys have to have the games of their lives. They have to get TFLs. They have to be able to disrupt the backfield and really be forces, because if they get into these situations where, Missouri is breaking off 6, 7, 8 yards of carry, Kearney Catholic's going to get worn down the stretch. They cannot have that happen. Kearney Catholic offense also needs to step in this one. John Masker said, you know what, I was getting in my head a little bit with those 3 interceptions in the first half last week. That can't happen again, obviously. Kearney Catholic could be with could benefit from the possible return of Brady Holtmeyer. He's going to go through concussion protocol. There's a slight chance that Nathan Howell comes back from that broken leg this week. Don't know exactly how that one shakes out, but Kearney Catholic could add another weapon to that offense. Definitely would help. Bryce James, Brady Holtmeyer are able to get going for this offense. Keep Wyatt Mazur off the field. That would certainly be a big help for the Stars. Isn't it crazy that after all the football that's been played this year, that Kearney Catholic and Cozad could meet in a state championship? I don't even know what we would do for the Sports Hub for that. It would obviously be a big production and everything, but it would be really fun to see that, of course. A reminder to the coaches in the Hub territory, make sure you're sending in those all-region votes. We want to get all those votes tallied. We want to make sure that the best players in the region are represented. Definitely want to make sure you're sending those to sports@kearneyhub.com. So we're going to have all the football coverage for you. We're going to also be covering state volleyball this weekend. Keep that in mind. We got a 6-man championship in Kearney this weekend, too. It's a busy weekend. It's November. It's winter out pretty much right now. It's just what you would expect from Hub. So for Connor O'Gara, this has been the Sports Hub. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.